Hello and welcome, everybody. This is another edition of the Daily Dharma. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Dina. For those of you who are new here, I would say I'm not your typical reader, and I always like to do things just a little bit different. Today, I hope it's not too distracting. My hair's in my eyes. There's some light reflection in my glasses. It is what it is. So let's check these cards out first. This is my mixed two shamanic decks, and they were really talkative earlier. A lot of various cards coming out. The crossing initiation card. I'm not remembering them all right now. Taming the Wind came out with that initiation card. So it's like talking about the chaos of life and things as they move and bend and change. And I'm feeling that for many of us, we are really closing out some long-standing cycles, things that have felt unsettled, unresolved, or various types of energetic resonance passing away out of our lives and lending itself to extreme shifts and changes within our own energy signature, and therefore in the manifestations of our own life and how those are coming through. I think I want to stop here. I had something else that was coming through, but let's see. I had a few cards here pop out. They're face down. There's 4 of them, one at a time. Let's see. Gathering Around the Power of Community, number 26. Earth, number 17. It's right in the other deck. We did have Loving Elementals, and now we've already seen Earth, and previous I said we had the Taming of the Wind. We have the Child. That reminds me too, in the karmic deck that we're going to be getting into, the Loving Elementals card is this little baby reaching out to these little fairies that are the various elemental energies dancing in front of one's innocence, right? The childlike spark seems to be talking, and that was at 222. And Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. So yeah, something coming around, a way of being, closing out is showing your the power that you have in your magical self. I think that makes sense. Let's see. I wanted to get just a few more out here. We've got 4 there, so let's get 4 more and then we'll flip the deck. Under Gathering Around Power of Community, we have, and that's the 26, and this is the 62, that reversal, that mirroring. Will-o'-the-Wisp, Treasures Hidden in the Shadows. Okay, there's a few things coming through with that. The power within community is within the mirroring of different perspectives, diversity, lending itself to our ability to stretch our awareness, our consciousness, our compassion by taking in both like-minded and those that represent our traditional conditioned responses and expectations of how the world will show up, and diversifying our perspectives by showing us, again, the extremities and the role reversals, that yin yang, the ultimate flipped script, and thereby that is the treasure that we're kind of unpacking through the shadow of our own self and others. How we are aligned is one way to learn, and how we are repulsed is another way to learn. And in our delights, in our repulsion energy, both of those are extreme indicators of what lies dormant within, for good and for bad. So I think that's enough on that. We'll see how it comes through. I want to get a few decks out. Under the Earth, 17, we have 23, Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing. I like that one under Earth because, like we started to talk earlier, it's the manifestations beginning to take shape in earthly, in material form. And so both in the evidence of the changing vibration coming through, like new experiences, new responses from the individuals or the strangers that we meet. New luck can be evidence of a shift in our own energy, or if we have switched environments or switched individuals in our community that we're working with or learning, growing with, whether they're aligned or not, can start to show up with choice points. And I think that that's why we're talking about luck and right timing, because you're lucky enough to be able to follow the signs and the synchronicities and to understand with a greater, deeper awareness those choice points and how we navigate, how we alchemize, how we utilize all of the things coming through us and to us as stepping stones, and not lead weight around the neck, anchoring us into lower and lower emotional responses. And I do want to say, all emotions have their time and place. So we don't want to demonize and say that some are good and some are bad. It's just a vibrational frequency. And without the ability to feel shame, guilt, anger, then we're leaning towards more sociopath. And so clearly the intense emotions are part of this earthly process. And I think that those of us on this path in this reading today are going to be those that are highly sensitive and attuned to the energies, signs, synchronicities, to the vibration of the collective and the communities that we are immersed in, serving, and so on. And we are able to utilize that to supplement and support whatever we are bringing forth into the material world. Below 7, the child, we have magic, 33. Gorgeous. Master number 33 to me represents creativity, the feminine goddess energy, co-creation and self-actualization, self-mastery. So growth in the using of the spontaneous innocence of that inner child, that child that is in love with the elementals. It's as if to say that previous to coming into this reading, whatever time that you've just spent, you've perhaps needed to get back into your nature, to release some type of race, rush, or distraction and bring yourself back to center. And some of us, I feel like, will be having a little bit of resistance to fully just disengaging and fully unplugging. We may find ourselves restless in our energy, seeking for answers in the distractions, such as like that restless energy that keeps us up at night scrolling through the phone. The answers are not to be found in the phone. We can find inspiring quotes, we can find and research things that can help us, but truly, restlessness is only really, I want to use the word cured, by coming home, and home is in the center, and the center is not the phone. It's not it's not anything besides plugging into our environment. So unplugging from media and community and plugging into your center may be good for some people, but if you've been immersed in your own energy, plugging back into the community can help you to get out of some type of rut and gain that creative essence, that newly inspired childlike spark that is newly engaged in new information. So you'll have to define for yourself where you're at with that. Underneath Magician's Sword 37, Lightning number 30. Got a lot of 3s out here too, so that's interesting. Lightning to me is more the electric masculine, the divine masculine essence within all of us. That is also beyond that, that eureka moment, that activating light code moment where the mind is newly awakened, newly aware of something. It's like the spark of the child that's re-inspired with magic or with somebody else's magic, or re-invoking our own magic to push forward in something, or to take back our power in a situation, to cut our own energy free from that which is tying us down incorrectly to either attachment, codependency, or being stuck in something because we feel like this is predictable, or at least the known, the devil we know. And then that breakthrough sun moment where the sun comes through the clouds here is more like that epiphany that's like where we start to connect the dots in some way, or find that evidence of, yeah, this isn't as satisfying to be on my phone. I'm going to commit to not do that. Or I'm going to commit to every day kind of taking a few moments every few hours to have some centering breaths, and to have a nice stretch, and to give thanks for this body. Something like this. Underneath the deck, we have Netcaster, preparations come to fruition. This to me is the way that we use our time, whether it's online, in forums, community building, and so on, or connecting with friends, loved ones, those people, places, things, and activities and routines that are actually fulfilling, even if they're a little bit difficult to get going on, like keeping the dishes washed. That's one of my things. Some people are good at it. I'd rather do other things. And so, getting myself on task with some of those small chores on a regular basis helps me to not slip back down into every time I walk back in the house and there's some dirty dishes. It's a little discouraging. It's like the place isn't clean. And whether or not you're okay with that or not okay with that, it's the same type of a thing when we think about our own energy or those individuals that we're spending time with. It's the way that the energy affects us. If it's affecting you, there's the choice point of taking care of that on a basis, balancing your life in that manner. If something doesn't bother you, and you have it, where you like it, it doesn't have the same impact as on somebody who wants it a certain way but can't find the motivation to do so. And I think that recently there has been a lot of information coming through my personal intuitive channel about adrenal fatigue, for instance, and how many highly attuned, highly sensitive individuals have had situations where their own personal sensitivity has either been misunderstood, taken for granted, rejected as something that doesn't belong here, or early trauma. It could be from anything, difficult situations, loss of a loved one, whatever you may identify with. I think that a lot of this sensitivity for individuals, whether it's been induced or catalyzed by some type of pain or suffering, or whether it is something that's just because you are so in tune with the collective, isn't as important, so to speak, as how we handle it and how we see that. It seems to be related to the sensitivity, is that inner child. It's like, if you think about it, however your views are, like along the symbolic form of like this perfect little drop of the divine put into the body of a newly born child, is like purity, innocence, complete vulnerability, complete dependence upon systems, infrastructure of role modeling and caretaking, and so on, nutrition, nourishment. This is kind of like from those early times, whatever our sensitivity was, and however it was or wasn't navigated or healthy or supported, there's something coming through now where there's this big shift in our energy and with our sensitivity, and how we can then use that not as something that is seen to weigh us down or be one of our weaknesses, but as our superpower. I think that some of us have been on this path our entire lives, others for a few decades, others just coming into something where it's like, yeah, this situation has more to do with resonance with these old cycles and with continual pain or suffering or victimization than they do with my actual power and light, and with my passion and the things I'm doing here and the things that I have been called and that I'm excited about. And so this netcaster, I feel like recently many of us have been dealing with some types of either limiting circumstances or fatigue or even illness that has then pushed us to take some time to rest in our own energy, to reassess something. We've been being cleared out, upgraded, and prepared for some huge opportunities and shifts that are coming through the collective in unprecedented ways, so that we can capitalize on this turning of the tides to put different processes and energetic frequencies back to the forefront in earthly materialized form. And so keeping our own vibrational resonance and authenticity steady, aligned, and centered and grounded here is part of this time. Okay, so the heart chakra pops out first here. That's gorgeous. Love that when the heart chakra wants to speak first. And universal love on the bottom of the deck. How beautiful is that? 4 and 44. So we've got 33 and 44. 44 to me is more of like guidance, protection, stability, reordering of things. And so it kind of talks about a heart-based reality, orienting ourselves to greater love and greater awareness, greater forgiveness, and release of what no longer serves, and embracing something that does. So let's see if we get a couple more cards here. Okay, I like those ones. Look at that. When these two pop out together, we are definitely seeing confirmation, miracle, and prosperity. So beautiful. Fortune's wheel with Earth. There is a heart-based abundance that's creating miracles in our lives, and you can claim it, and it can come through in many different ways, but it's here, and we're being told that it's not about waiting for the lotto. It's not about waiting for some type of false materialization of like something that we can call wealth, although those things are up to us to manifest, and it's not anything that's beyond our ability to manifest. But I feel like we need to give gratitude and thanks and appreciation for the miracles that we already possess. Our ability to be highly sensitive and powerfully, energetically, emotionally driven creates, emotions create, energy creates. And so to the point that we are so highly sensitive and aware and in tune with the collective, we can utilize that like a 3D printer, quite literally. And we take in all of those energies, like that's the so-called, the ink. And we take those energies, pass them through both the mind's eye and the heart's eye, the eye of the beholder, that observer. And as we witness all of these potentialities, we weave them into becoming with our thoughts, our prayers, and our words. And part of this is understanding that we are so blessed. We are the miracle workers of this time and place, and that prosperity has to do with like, I have all of the resources because I am the power and the light, so to speak, with those angels that have been coming through recently, ascended masters, whatever, higher guidance, divine energies coming in, light codes coming in, like that 3D printer, all kind of coming into our sphere of awareness, that is true prosperity, being connected to that universal life force energy, and then being the weaver, being the one that is the magician's sword. It's like we are that. The magician's sword is almost like that needle that prints it, you know, and that sword is also the one that cuts away the narratives that don't serve and cuts away those energetic resonance with toxicity. We don't need to resonate with toxicity to be able to learn and grow from it. We don't need to own that. We don't need to take things personally. We need to only be aware of them as a neutral observer. You know, those things belong to this world in a certain way, but they also belong to evidence of spirit in action. And everything that is right, wrong, or indifferent is also a resource that we can utilize to, like Legos, to break down to the constituent blocks, particles, building blocks of matter, such as vibrational resonance, such as our perspectives and experiences, our delights, the elemental beauty that we are when we have fire that we are passionately invoking, when we have earth that we are grounding in and giving thanks and praise for everything that we already are, the wind when we give thanks to keep things light, to uplift us and to blow away the dusty stagnancy. And what else? The light itself for bringing illumination and electric awareness, greater consciousness. Oh, what have I skipped? The water, the beautiful water that we are. It's like consciousness and emotional quality is the re-nourishing of the soil that is everything that is, right? I think that you guys are the magicians already utilizing all of those things, being that 3D printer in your life and utilizing things such as the neural net, your flexibility and your ability to relearn and to outgrow and to mature spiritually and so on, to integrate all that you are and to show the way. You are creating this net almost like a mother tucking in a little child. You're taking care of your inner child, and as you do so, your magic is exponential and there to show the light and the way to others, whether or not they're aware of it. Merkaba, yes, the influence that you are, your auric field and shield, that's like the netcaster. Under that, the ghost dance, number 22. We've got 22, 33, and 44. So that ghost dance is all about, you know, the ghosts of the ancestors, um, and their so-called wounds, or the growth that they were here to invoke or to prepare us for. It's like our biology, our spirituality, the earth and the location that we are in or have traveled. It's like we're creating ley lines from the footsteps that we've taken in this world, everyone that we've touched and talked to, and every thought that we've come across or entertained. It's like that is the net that we are, and it's weaving something quite beautiful from the ghosts of all of the ancestors, all of the people and places and minerals and animals and so on that have come before us. There's a lot of like Native American, indigenous, individual teachings that I'm kind of feeling my way through with this ghost dance. It's like when we understand the shadow and the intention and the light and the dark and how everything that is light has that shadow, then we can dance on the karmic roots that we are here to shine light on and honor them and give thanks for even suffering for some. I'm not trying to excuse your pain or create. I hope that you understand what I'm talking about. I don't mean to trigger anybody, but it's about going beyond that. And instead of feeling either shamed or angry for the disempowerment, which those are righteous thoughts as well, but moving beyond that and saying, because of this, I am. Because of those things that I can't abide, I am willing to, I am going to, I am developing self into more light, more capacity, more strength, more protection, more intention to harness my magic, to create greater abundance and to move mountains and to create miracles. You know, to turn that water into wine type of thing is in my mind right now is like taking everything like that 3D printer and then creating the mana, the sustaining life force energy that we are pouring out into this world, like that temperance and star card energy, where it's like that Aquarian water bearer bringing the good news of change is what I'm hearing into this world, into form with our energies. Okay, so yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I hope that you guys are following what that is. I think that the ghost stance is a really powerful part of why some of us are being slowed down to be able to hear, being compelled to lay down our devices and pick up some pen and paper perhaps, or maybe paints and canvas, or however you create, might be your voice, might be music, instrument. Oh, beautiful. You are worthy. You are, I feel, being held within the hands of the divine. Like I see this as the divine's hands and you. And also I see this as some others that may be practitioners of something like distance healing energy work, where you can envision your hands being filled with this healing light. And then if you wanted to envision either yourself holding a small version of yourself in your palms and sending all of that light to self, you could put another individual in that moment and send them healing in that way. But with the worthy card, I feel that first and foremost, we need to do this with our inner child. Something is surfacing. I think that this is talking about this materialization thing. It's like an upgrade, up leveling in our own self-worth with a new choice, a new decision, and a move that we may have made. Some enlightenment has created us to start turning a wheel that had been stagnant, being able to pick up that sword of truth and cut through any type of disconnection, indifference, or manipulation, any untruths, any lies. That magician's sword is, I want to focus on the positive. With worthy, it's like coming into awareness of old cycles of disempowerment or self-sabotage or manipulation cycles, and suddenly witnessing ourselves at this level where it's like, well, it's not only that you see through it, it's like it doesn't even affect you the same way as it once did, because there's been a complete shift embodied. So let's see what else is here. Take flight. Yeah, we already talked about the upliftment. There's some transformation energies going on here. Higher heart, golden light codes here. So it's like this activation, this initiation or crossing over of vibrational frequency is going from this being held in the hands of the divine to, this is like the cocoon phase, catharsis, into this bloom phase of this butterfly energy, bursting forth. One more here. Celestial. That's gorgeous. This one a few months ago was coming through as a convergence, and it still feels like that. It feels like we're coming out the other side of this Lion's Gate as the portal is starting to wane a little bit, but this year is a powerful year overall. And I feel like quite a few of us are coming into greater alignment with our cosmic, our divine heritage. And as we lay to rest old narratives, old vibrational frequencies that perhaps we were raised on, with this ghost dance, healing that karma, we are really becoming quite aware of the miracles that are coming in for us and being able to you know, embrace our starseed roots for some of us, or just our divinity, however your gift seems to come through. I think that we have a lot of individuals awakening to their mediumship and divine powers in any type of direction. We have one popping out here. Nice. The bird's nest. Three of forces, three of wands. There's some foreshadowing, a healthy healing return to positivity within the home or within the workplace, within any type of environment you spend a lot of time, particularly in the earthly realms with other individuals. This bird's nest is like cleaning up the house, and that must be why we're talking about some dishes and whatever. We have Archangel Raphael number 8 under the deck here, talking about our emotional energies. There's definitely a rising up of emotional sensitivity here. So many of us, whether we are happy or sad, are probably going to be feeling our way through greater emotional intensity during this coming time. As we're going through upgrades, it may kind of leave us feeling even more restless and unsettled. And so it's good to come back into the breath, back into the body, back into gratitude. The Architect, one of keys. That's the Ace of Pentacles right there, which it often talks about gaining financial security, getting some big material opportunity coming our way. But this Architect is really talking about how we've set ourselves up for this. We are reading our master blueprints. We're aware of our previous, perhaps, incarnations, and with all of those gifts that are beyond this lifetime. And we're starting to really understand how to order and take control of our life's manifestation. Queen of Scrolls, beautiful Queen of Swords right over that Magician's sword. We're taking our power back from something, standing our ground, standing firm, and we're in our truth and authenticity and our high priestess energy. We know what we know, and we're not going to be swayed any type of direction. And we do have Archangel Raphael's support through this process. It's a blooming of self-love. Below that, caught in the ruins, 16, that caged mentality. Yeah, we are getting out of these old complexes or karma and moving into self-love, self-worth, and we're witnessing things start to take shape in a powerful way. Be insightful and established here. Ground and rebalance your energy. Bring your awareness into the now rather than allowing it to occupy the past or the future. Yes, getting back into the body, back into your energy. Replacing what was lost. Yes, we have a lot of powerful prosperity and Ace of Pentacles. Whatever